Bailamos, bailamos, bailamos por libres. Bailamos, bailamos, bailamos por libres. Bailamos, bailamos, bailamos por libres. Bailamos, bailamos, bailamos por libres.
Welcome back to season 6 of the Unshakeable Woman podcast. Thank you to my Cali sister. I miss you so much, Therese. I love the music. You just get us bumping and get us ready for an amazing show with women who are walking in their purpose. I have an amazing sister who is joining us tonight. I met her here in Florida. She is from Mineola, Florida. She is a Florida resident and native resident, which is kind of unusual these days because everybody's moving everywhere. She is also an energetic life guide. I want to get that correct. Energetic life guide. And I have had the opportunity to be a part of what she offers. Welcome to the show, Nicole Marie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Cheryl. I love the song, and it's such a blessing to be here.
Yeah, well, you gotta follow her on YouTube.
I was dancing. Good thing they couldn't see me in the background.
Yeah, it's a fun song and it's a global song because we are in 12 countries, and I told her I want something a little global this year, and I just love the song. But speaking of global, I'm no longer in California, which most of you guys know. I am in Florida. And this young lady I happen to meet here, and she is a native. And she is an energetic contact lifeline for those who need a little extra something. And she's going to go into what that is. So, Nicole, let's back it up a little bit. At what point in time did you realize this is the journey that you wanted to take for yourself and being in this space of energy?
Well, thank you so much for asking that, because this story is very unique. I actually had no idea that this was something I wanted to do. This was something that God showed me that I was going to do. And what I mean by that is I was in the military. I served in the U.S. Navy, and it was a little rough for me, more so physically than anything. I ended up having about 9 surgeries while I was active duty, and I became medically retired at the age of 23. 23. So most people at the age of 23 are in college. They're starting their life. They are aligned with, okay, yes, I'm going to be this and I'm going to go here. They're dating. There's all these things. And at that time, they handed me my DD-214 and they said, thank you so much. There's really nothing else more that we can do for you or you can do for us.
Wow. What is a DD-14?
So it's basically like your papers that you get when you are like honorably discharged. Everybody, all the military people know those numbers really well, but it's like your I'm free papers. But for me, it didn't really feel like that, right? Like 23 years old, I loved the work that I was doing in the Navy, and I really didn't know what I was going to do next. So I did, I guess, what I knew best, and that was come back to Florida, and I got married, right? The military didn't work out, might as well try getting married.
Right.
So so I got married, and I still had all of these issues with my body. So while I was active duty, I was actually diagnosed with a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And it's a collagen deficiency disorder. So basically my body wasn't producing the glue that held everything together, right? So I was breaking, dislocating. I had, what they called alligator skin. So when they tried to like poke me with an IV, it would feel like they were using a dull needle. And that was kind of what was causing all of these surgeries. Something would happen, my body wouldn't heal, it would cause another problem, and we were just kind of following the yellow brick road at one point. I was additionally diagnosed with a condition called Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. And this is a heart condition where I had way too many pathways to the heart. And so I had to undergo heart surgery while I was active duty. And so being discharged and, going home, I'm now a newly married woman with all of these medical issues. I remember calling my mom, talking to the doctors, reaching out to friends saying like, okay, but like now what? And everyone would say the same thing to me. Like, I don't know what to tell you. My mom would say, figure it out, figure it out. And I remember at one point getting down on my knees, looking straight up to the sky, saying, I know that you have more for me than this.
Right.
Right. Like I knew, I was like, there's no way in all of my life that this is it. And then I'm supposed to just wait. Like, what was I doing?
Yeah.
So marriage, kids, blended family, life kind of goes on. And that takes us to 2017. At 2017, I was 231 pounds at my heaviest.
No
I was miserable.
way.
Yes, I was miserable. I remember looking in the mirror saying, like, who is this girl? Like, how do we get here? What's going on?
Yeah.
So at the time, I had this like inclination, like something in me was like, oh yeah, you're going to lose this weight and you need a goal and you need to go fast. So my husband was in the bathroom. I marched right in, couldn't go anywhere. I marched right in and I said, babe, I'm going to compete in a bodybuilding competition, like the ones with the little bikinis on stage. And he's looking at me like, you can tell the wheels are turning. He's trying to find the right words to say, trying to figure out how to be supportive. And he's like, okay. I said, yeah, I'm going to do it in 13 months. I'm going to have to lose over 100 pounds. But whatever this is, it ain't it. I can't do it anymore. So I went on this like massive 13-month journey and I started with keto. I lost my first 50 pounds in like 2.5 months, got a coach. You know, I was like, okay, I'm doing this. Things are moving. I set an intention. I'm ready to go. Right. But what happens when we begin to take a step towards our purpose? Right. The devil comes in and says, hang on, girl, tries to bring us back. Right.
Yeah.
So that year became one of the hardest years. You know, all of a sudden, like people close to me were dying, young people close to me were dying. You know, I could feel the tension brewing in my family, in my home. I can feel just everything around me beginning to like shed, right? Because I'm shedding the weight, but I could feel the energy around me, like relationships, things that I thought were so solid became very difficult all of a sudden. So 13 months goes by. I step on stage at 116 pounds.
Wow.
Hit 5th place 5 out of 27. And I just remember feeling this moment of, okay, like,
you can do it.
Here we go, girl. Right.
Yeah.
And I get off the stage and my entire world melted away with all the fat. My husband cheated on me. We ended up going through a divorce. And now all of a sudden things are going. And I remember hearing this voice like deep within my being saying, you took the first step. Now keep going. Yeah. Right. Now, at this point, I go from being a full-time stay-at-home mom to 3 children, right? Married, house, dogs, everything, to literally what feels like almost overnight being a stay-at-home single mom of 1 child half the time. I'm like, hang on a second. How do we get here?
Transition. Yeah.
How do we get here? So during this time, I started to notice that something wasn't quite right. You know, like this pressure, all of these changes, I was grasping onto everything. We did this physical change, but now I'm in this mental space and I'm like, what the heck? Like, what am I going to do here? You know, being in the military, I was diagnosed with PTSD, adjustment disorder, anxiety, insomnia, ODD, OCD. I had all of these things that were riddling me and I couldn't turn it off. Right. So I had 2 friends, an Army guy and a Air Force guy came to me that we met through a PTSD support group. And he goes, the Army guy looks at me and he says, okay, Nicole Marie, you know what we need to do here? And I said, what's that? He goes, we got to go into the woods. I said, excuse me, we're going to do what? He goes,
forest bathing. Yeah.
So it was actually a little bit deeper than that. So he ends up connecting with me, and he was telling me the story about the Vikings and how Vikings would come back from war riddled with all sorts of trauma, and they would make this tea, and they would go into the woods for 3 days, and one of three things would happen. They would go in, they would come back to their family perfectly fine. They would go in and they would come back and just want to go live in a distant village somewhere, or they would go in and they wouldn't come back at all. But it was like, that was their reset. So I'm saying to him, I said, well, I hear you, but I don't know if that's for me. And he said, well, this is something that comes from within you, right? This is something that will come from within you. Girl, 6 months goes by. I called him and I said, I am walking into Walmart. What is it that I need? I have never been in the woods for 3 days ago, but you are right. My spirit is calling. Let's go. So I end up finding myself in Big Cypress. So it's a place in South Florida, right? It's a little bit east of Naples, real down there. And it's literally the swamp. It's the heart of the Everglades. It is like the heartbeat of Florida. And we were going to go in for 3 days, one way in, one way out. There's no land around you. Like, you are in, if you want to go ahead and take a look at what Big Cypress is, I suggest. But it was a 37-mile hike, mile hike, and we were going to do it in 3 days. So just like the Vikings, we had this little compote tea. Drink the tea about 1 mile into the hike, and all of a sudden, from in here to out in the creation, I felt it. I felt God's presence stronger than I've ever felt anything before. And there was this voice, but it wasn't the voice that I normally hear. It was this like this low whisper, but like deep presence that said, do you see? Do you see now? Do you see that you too are a part of this great creation? As I created the heavens and the earth, I created you. And there was just, in that moment, everything just kind of, nothing mattered.
Yeah.
I was safe. My son was safe. Things were transitioning. I had this moment to literally just breathe, right? Feeling my lungs hold the air and just hold in this knowing that, like, there is a plan for me. And it's probably going to be different than anyone else around me. But that's why I get to be right here in God's creation to unlock it.
Yeah.
Right.
Love that.
And it was this knowing. It was just this knowing. Now, I grew up as a Catholic, right? I'm Italian and Cuban. And then as we got older, I was raised as a non-denominational Christian. We didn't really talk about anything else, right? Like, we read the Bible. God is this power outside of you. He created you. He sent Jesus. Like, it does. That was what we were told. Okay.
Right.
But now I'm in this space where I'm feeling it. Like, God's word is no longer a thing that I'm reading in a book.
It's real.
I am now a part of it. Like, whatever needed to happen inside of me to remind me that I am connected to this, it got connected on that trip, right? So I come back. Yeah. In his presence, in the thing that he created, like, beautiful. And let me tell you what, I questioned a lot of things on that trip. I questioned my choice in friends. I was like, why are we out here? We could have, like, I questioned, like, man, you always got to take the difficult route, right? And I questioned how I spoke to myself. Like, so many things really came into being in that trip that has literally impacted my every way of being. But then I come home, and girl, life's still lifing. Right. It was like, I just went to experience like heaven on earth. Yeah. And then I come back and I'm into reality, and I realize, well, damn, how did we get here?
Yeah. What just happened?
It's like that, it's that moment. So I instantly kind of peeled back these layers, and I said, okay, hang on a second. You want me to follow this path. You showed me what it is. And now you want me to come to you. Well, how do I do that? When I
Mhm.
started sitting down, right? So I had a physical journey first, right? Losing the weight. I had a mental journey second when I go in and I'm resetting everything over here. Well, then what's next? Well, next,
Mhm.
now I'm riddled with anxiety. These emotions are out of control. Like, what
Yeah.
are we doing? I don't know which way's up. There's days where I'm crying because I can't get the can opener to work correctly.
Mhm.
You know, like
Mhm.
we're all over the place. And I
What a
start
journey.
to sit, yeah, I start to sit in this. And
Mhm.
I go right back into life. I'm like, okay, I'm a single mom now. Time to get a job, time to figure this out. I got my own apartment. Me and my baby are going on a schedule. I'm helping him emotionally regulate. We're moving forward.
Mhm.
Now I'm told, hey girl, you're going to
Mhm.
have your 11th surgery. I said, wait a minute. I thought we were done. And they said, listen,
Wow.
you have herniations in your neck that are causing you to be paralyzed. Like there was days, 2-3 days, I couldn't move. I had to lay in the bed. I needed to have someone put a
Mhm.
board under me to help me get out of bed because I couldn't
Mhm.
move. 2-3 days at a time. When we find
Mhm.
out that it's the herniations that are compounding the nerves in my back that was causing everything to swell, and I couldn't move. So
Mhm.
now I'm sitting in this emotional roller coaster, like this typhoon of like emotional waves coming to me because I'm like, well, first of all, I'm a single mom. Who's gonna help me? You know, having a
Mhm.
surgery like this is risky. I have a
Right.
3-year-old boy. Like this is right now. We're in 2020. We are now smack dead in the middle of COVID. So
Wow.
nobody could really go anywhere. And I'm like, who's gonna come and help me?
Right.
So I heard again that voice. That voice started to
Mhm.
creep in. And at first I almost missed it, right?
Mhm.
And it was this voice that said, listen, you are held. You are safe.
Mhm.
You need this. So
Yeah.
I
So
am held. I am safe. I need this. Okay, yes. So I started holding myself. I am held.
mm,
I am safe. I
mm.
need this. Right?
Yeah.
That reminder.
Can I ask you something right in there? Because in the pandemic, excuse me, which is part of my healing space, I walked around in the quiet. You know, I when I get out of bed, I will walk outside in my bare feet. And although the world was closed down, the
Mhm.
quiet was healing, I think, for a number of people. And I think you experienced that as well. And thank you
Mhm.
for your service. So how did you heal through that during 2020?
So I started with this. I said, you know what? I
Mhm.
need 3 things. I need an old
Mhm.
lady chair. So I got
Mm.
me one of those nice, real comfortable Elizabeth 1980s, 1970s chairs, pink, still in my living room. I needed
Mhm.
some crystals, some stones, because I just felt like I needed the earth, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to go outside. And I got a
Mm.
book. And the
Mhm.
book was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Mhm. Read that.
Hmm. Yes. So, and no one on this planet is going to convince me that that book is not infused with magic. And by magic, I mean presence. That man
Mhm.
is so present that when he writes, it literally does something in your body, right? You
Mhm.
begin to feel all the switches turning off. You begin
Mhm.
to sit deep, deep, deep in your heart space, in this whole infinite love space. And
Mhm.
you get to just listen and
Mhm.
witness and receive.
Mhm.
So that's
Mhm.
what I did. I
Mhm.
went on with the surgery. I ended up setting new goals for myself. And in 6 weeks, I was out in Lumpkin, Georgia, hiking the mini Grand Canyons with my neck brace
Wow.
on, just
Wow.
sitting in God's creation again, saying, you were right. You were
Mm.
right. Okay.
Mm.
So now I went through physical, I went through mental. Now we made it and arrived through emotional. But what's next?
Hmm.
Where's the
What is
fire? What's
next?
the passion? What do we
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Where
What's
now
the
what? Right?
purpose?
Right.
Are
So
we getting to the birth of your purpose here?
now we're sitting in it, right? So now I'm
Yeah.
starting to ask questions. And I said, you know what? I said, you know what, God, whatever is meant for me, whatever
Mhm.
is meant for me in this time, I
Mhm.
choose to heal it with mind, body, and spirit. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure you're going to tell me, because whatever this is not working. And I say, when you set a powerful intention like that, when you get out of your own way so that you can receive what you're calling in, God never fails, girl. God never fails to show up. He is right on time every time. So I was introduced to this app during that healing space that was called Clubhouse. It's a drop-in audio app. You just kind of go in, talk to other people.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. And so during this time, I'm in this very space. And to me, it felt like kind of like a mystery school. Like I could just change my algorithm. I could be put into spaces with prayer warriors. I can be put into spaces, with all different types of people and connected. And I started learning so much. All of a sudden, this fire, this passion, this desire to learn, this desire to be more, to know more, to experience more, to hold more, to love more, to cherish more, started just kind of roaring inside of me like this great volcano. Like, oh, we're cooking, we're boiling. We're boiling. We want to overflow. We want to be so full of all this fire and passion that anybody who comes in us, we gonna just pour right into them.
Right.
And that app began to do that, right? So I started asking, I have questions. So we know that everything is created of energy, right? We learned that in school. We learned that the trees are created of energy. We use energy for electricity. We talk about everything being of energy. But wait a minute, if everything is energy, so then what's my energy? What am I made up of? Right? Like I know God created me, but with what? Like how? So I started asking these questions, and I got pulled into a bunch of different spaces. Yeah. Yes, of course, in his image, which is of what? Of energy. So I started asking these questions, and I started being guided into the spaces. And I learned a lot, right? I learned a lot about astrology. I learned a lot about how astrology was used throughout the Bible. I learned about numerology, how you can find patterns and numbers and all around you. I learned about cardology, right? I started learning about all of these things, and all of them made sense. And they were all incredible tools, right? But something didn't click. Like, so it was like, it was as if like God was in this circle here. He was in the center of me, but I couldn't get in. Like I couldn't quite access it. And I knew it was there. I knew God was right here, and I couldn't get in.
Yeah.
Until one day
it's called seeking truth. The truth about what is truly your journey while you're here on earth.
And I wanted to know. And it was crazy because, I was friends with and still am, with a lot of influential people. And all of these people, they knew right away. And I'm over here like, Lord, like, am I a late bloomer? Like, what's going on? How is it that they're doing something and they're accessing it, but I'm doing it and getting nothing? Like, what's going on? And so one day I'm on Clubhouse in this small little room I'd never been in before, with people I never met. And there was 8 people on the stage, and they invite me up, and we're talking, and I'm talking about this journey. I'm talking about finding this passion, and I found it, but like, I can't quite reach it. Like, it's there. I could feel it. I could smell it. I could taste it, but I can't reach it. Yeah. And she goes, this girl in the room, she says, Nicole, you ever heard of a tool called human design? I said, no. She goes, I don't know if I'm going to be the right person to be able to deliver this message to you. She goes, but obviously God is trusting me. I'm just going to tell you what I can, and I'm going to trust that you're going to know what to do. I said, okay. She goes, so there's this tool called human design. It talks about energy, and I think there's something in it for you. Okay, thanks, God. I'll take it. So I started looking into it, and then I realized that it's a combination of the I Ching, the tree of life, Kabbalah, astrology, and quantum physics, right? And it's the system that compounds all of this ancient and modern information and puts it together and says, how is the energy stored and accessed in your specific body? What environment do you thrive best in? What is your digestive system like? What is your purpose? How do you activate it? Like all of these tools and things. And all of a sudden, I take this big, deep breath. And I had this moment, right, as I'm shaking my body out. And I said, oh, so we're energy. So God is energy. I am energy. Trees are energy. Life is energy. I said, okay, there we go. That's a something. And I spent the next several years learning deep into this, deep into understanding my unique energy, what it means to be a projector, what it means to wait for an invitation, what it means to guide others, right? God was calling me to guide. It was like he was giving me a car, but didn't give me no keys. I said, well, hang on a second. Is it a touch? How do I turn it on? How do I use this thing?
Locked you out the car, huh?
I said, oh, well, hang on. But then I realized that I'm energy and this car is energy. So this circle, right? It was like all of a sudden I realized that I don't need to penetrate it. I need to realize that the same thing that is God is me. So God's living inside of me. I am energy. So all of the things that I was trying to reach from the outside, I had to go deep within. I had to go find him deep, deep, deep within me.
I love it. So
now,
you've made a couple of stops on this journey, and so you figure out for you it's more energy, the human design. So what led to the birth of you creating this as a business? What was that it thing that said, this is what I'm supposed to do to serve people?
So it started really randomly. I would be at a grocery store with my son or at an amusement park or something. And the first time it ever happened, we were at an amusement park. It's about 2021. So COVID is still kind of heavy on everyone's hearts. We were social distancing at the park and we're in line. I will never forget this. We were in line for the Minions ride. And all of a sudden, this mama thing in me, right? My son's standing right next to me, but this mama thing in me just kind of like bursts alive. And I look up and I see this mom frantic, yelling, hands up. She wasn't speaking English, but she's like trying to get out of the line. And I look down and there's this little precious baby, about 18 months, standing right at my feet. And so I look down, I look up, and I kind of like signal to the lady, like, hang on. And I'm like pointing down and I pick up this baby because now I'm nervous. Like there's this baby here, hands up, ready to go. This mom's freaking out. I don't even know if I could touch this baby, but this baby's here. The mom's over there. Like, so I pick up this baby, right? And all of a sudden I just feel this, like this love, just, I mean, between the two of us. And this baby just puts his head down straight on my shoulder. And the mom is coming out of the line. I mean, tears are rolling down her face. She was nervous. Like she thought the baby ran away. And so we just stand there, right? So I get out of the line and my son comes with me. The lady comes with me and I just sit up against the wall with this baby and she's crying and she's trying to take this baby out of my arms and the baby's just holding on for dear life. And so I just hold on and then something tells me, touch the mother, just grab her hand and just like hold them, just stay in this for a second. Yeah. So the mom's crying. I grab her hand. I'm holding the baby. I take this deep breath and I just feel this like, just this flow of like peace. And she grabs onto me and she just kept saying, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so I'm sitting here, the baby, eventually, we get everything we need from it. She takes her baby back. We go, she kept telling me, thank you. We ended up having a good night. And the voice comes back. You can help them by helping yourself. You walk the path first. You walk the path first.
Yeah, you put on your mask
first. Again. Yep.
Yes.
Walk it again, and then walk it again. And eventually you'll see what you're supposed to do.
Mm.
I said, okay. So I walked the path, right?
Mm.
So I'm going back and I'm saying, what does that mean? Walk the path, right? Now, I told you I like puzzles, right? So physical, we lost all the weight. Mental, we went into the woods, right? Emotional, we healed, we cried, we had surgery. We found our passion for learning, for understanding. We want to learn more about energy. We want to learn about more quantum physics. We want to learn these things. And then I connect deep in this space, this energy. And I'm like, what path does God want me to walk, and why? Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
It actually took me 3 years to solve the puzzle. 3 years. And 3 years, in 2023, I realized that the path that I was supposed to walk on was to help, not to heal people. My job wasn't to heal people. I didn't heal that lady. I was just a beacon, right? I was just something that was safe, that the child recognized, a light that they saw.
Light.
Right? But I can walk the path enough that I can guide people to do this themselves. I can help them logically, consciously understand through science how to connect with the energy inside of them, how to align with that light, so that we're taking the guesswork out of it. We are no longer running around here trying to figure out what's going on, right? We get to sit down, we get to look at it like a blueprint, and we get to experience nothing but joy, right? And I said, well, I want to share this with everybody I know. So I did. I started doing readings, didn't charge anybody. We used to joke with my friends. I said, I'm just going to write a sign that says, ask me about your energy. And I quickly, there you go. And I quickly got burnt out. But this time it was different. It wasn't a physical burnout. It wasn't a mental burnout. It wasn't an emotional burnout. And it wasn't even a spiritual burnout. My fire was still burning. Energetically, I had no gas in the tank. I said, wait a second, what's going on? And then I was introduced to this word called right relationship. Right relationship, right? So when we're talking about being in nature, we're talking about right relationship. The trees provide oxygen for humans. Humans provide carbon dioxide for the trees to create oxygen. We are in the right relationship, right? You have certain types of animals that feed off of other animals, right? The whales, for example, they move so slow, they create algae, bacteria and stuff falls on them. Then feeder fish come and they clean everything off, and it becomes right relationship. So I said, well, hang on a second. God gave me this knowing, this passion, this desire to learn, this understanding about energy, this way to turn on and access my light. So what's wrong? Oh, well, I was just giving it away for free. I wasn't in right relationship.
Right. Yeah.
I said, well, hot darn, that's a thing too now. So I had to learn about it, because now remember, I didn't go to college. I mean, I went to college, I got college classes and stuff, but I didn't graduate with a degree. At 23 years old, when everyone else was in college, I was trying to figure out how to heal my body. Right. So I'm kind of learning on the job, and I'm realizing, at 30 years old, 31 years old, 32 years old, that other than being in the military and working for other people, I don't know how to do this. Right. I don't know how to be in right relationship. So I got the voice, learn. Learn, right?
And so how did you learn? What was that journey to learning? Who was the conduit to help you through that process? So
it started with nature. It started with just looking, right? I was at my favorite state park here in town called Lake Louisa, and I was sitting under this oak tree, and I was actually in the oak tree. It's my favorite climbing tree. And I'm just sitting there and I just start studying the branches, right? And I'm watching the little ants and I'm watching all the birds land and make their nests. And I'm seeing how it's like a give and take. Like how like one is kind of giving to the other, it's all being supported by this massive frame. And so I was like, okay, so I need to create structure, right? I'm laying on this tree and the first thing I'm looking at is like, I need to create structure in my life. I need to create structure for myself, for my son, and for my business. Okay, so these are three things, right? I have self, I have family, I have work, my sacred work, my sacred calling, this desire to help people connect with their own healing and their own energy. Three separate things. So I learned from nature first, right? Nature was my greatest teacher. And then I started following the work of Alan Watts and following the work of Joseph Campbell and Barbara Minnick. And I started learning through books. And I'm sitting here and I said, okay, this is fantastic. God, I need 3 mentors. I need 3 mentors. I need 3 people for you to show me how to do this, how to be different in a world that wants everyone to blend in, how to announce myself as an energetic life guide in a town full of Christian people who think that I'm a woo-woo witch. Like, what do I do? What do I do with this, God? And I kept crying, what do I do with this? He brought me 3 mentors through books: Abraham Lincoln, Maya Angelou, and Nelson Mandela. So at first, my first question is, well, what do these 3 people have in common? Okay. Well, they're all leaders. They have all faced great adversity in their time. They were all very resilient people. But why would God bring me to these people? Well, I started pulling their energy chart through human design, and all 3 of them are projectors. I said, you're teaching me how to be an embodiment of my energy. If I want to build a structure on the outside, then I need a solid structure on the inside.
Right.
Boom. Step 1.
Yeah.
Step 1. And so over time, I began to kind of formulate these things through meditation, through prayer, through reading. And that's when the term kind of came. Okay, well then what am I? What do I do? What do I call this business of mine? I said, okay, well, we deal with energy. But why is that relevant? Because we bring that energy into your life. Okay, so energy, life. Well, how do I do that? Well, I guide you. And that's where the term the energetic life guide came in. Is that I realized that as I was coming home into my being, into my body, into myself, coming home to God, coming home to truth, that I got to guide others through that path that we now call the way of the 6, right? And so it's this sacred pathway, this framework that I believe that God created and allowed me to birth. And it's a 6-path journey. So it's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's energetic, and it's with the shadow. It's meeting your shadow. And each of these 6 gates represent an archetype of the earth. So earth became the rooted one, right? It's the physical body that's rooted deep, 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 deep into the earth. It's the framework.
I want you to hold on to that. Because I don't want you to give away everything, because I want people to follow you, to kind of ask you the questions and come and find out about your business.
Yes, ma'am. So my business is now built around this framework, right? And so that's why I love to talk about this and share this, because I feel like what's important in being in right relationship is to give value, right? So through that is this framework. And it was earth, it was the physical body, it was air, it was the mental body, mental mind. You have waves, which is the water and the emotions. You have fire, which is spirit, right? Passion, purpose. You have energy, which is how you move it, how you weave it all together. And the shadow, which are the parts of you that you've cast away, the subconscious parts of you that you can feel but can't touch, right? The parts that you know are there, but you can't quite see them or hear them. So it was about weaving all of this together. And that's where, you know, the work that I do was born. I have a business that's called Roots of Purpose, where I guide people through this framework. And I also am a leader of a nonprofit organization called Eco Root Sanctuary, where it's connecting people back into nature. And through that, I run a nature school here in Florida, which is the first energetic nature school in all of the United States and the first nature school in South Lake County.
Wow, you have so much going on. And you got one more thing going on that I want you to share that you are collaborating on. And we still have time for people to buy tickets. You want to share what that collaboration is?
Yes. So I've had the extreme blessing to get close to a former guest of yours, Amanda Schisler, and she is incredible. She is this firehouse of healing old traumatic wounds, aligning people with their passion and meditation and connecting them to breath work. And her and I, along with another friend, Selena Rubio, who is an emotion body code practitioner, the three of us are co-hosting our first Root and Rise Women's Retreat here in Lake County. So we will be hosting that August, I believe it's the 8th, 9th, and 10th. And it's just a weekend, a very powerful weekend for 15 women to come be in a cabin in the woods with us, right? To play, to do art, to talk, to journal, to come into our purpose, to root into the earth and rise in our purpose. So we are looking for 15 beautiful women. We have pre-sales going on until June 1st, and then June 1st until we sell out. So if you are not, I definitely invite you to follow me on Instagram, and that's everlastingme.NicoleMarie. And you will find all of the links and details to how to sign up to this for this retreat, how to work with me, about all of the other projects I'm working on. It'll connect you back to the energetic nature learning community and Eco Root Sanctuary.
Yes, thank you. And for those of you, especially my Cali sisters who are listening while you are working, we will have those socials on the post and on the shorts where you can connect with Nicole, Amanda, and anyone else who is helping with this amazing retreat that's going to happen. I want to thank you. And, you know, we're going to have to cut this off because my sister is sitting in the dark. It's getting dark out here in Florida. The sun was up when we started this, and now the sun is going down. So in order for them to still see you, we are going to close at this time. Thank you so very much. If there is a young lady who has gone on a very difficult journey as yours, experiencing a lot of pain in their body at a young age and really trying to figure out what's next for me, how do I get up from this and move into my purpose, what would you say to that young lady who is listening?
First of all, you are not broken. You are perfectly imperfect just the way you are. Secondly, you are not alone. Girl, I see you. I feel you. I love you. I celebrate you, right? And thirdly, go get out in nature. Remember that you are a part of God's creation. And just like God created the trees, the birds, the bees, he created you and me. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for having me, Cheryl. This was beautiful and so much fun. And I look forward to talking with you soon and again.
Yeah, well, thank you for being with us. And thank you for everyone for tuning in. You can be anywhere else, but you are right here with the Unshakable Woman. We thank you very much to our guest, Nicole Marie. I want you to follow her and check out the retreat. It may just be something special for you. And for those of you who are in the Florida market, please go on the socials, share the information. If you don't want to go, maybe someone else that is close to you may enjoy this opportunity. Until next week, continue to walk in love, forgiveness, and of course, live unshakable. Thank you again to our special guest. We'll see you next week, Unshakable Woman.